I want to help you grow your business without having to access external funding. So many business owners today think that they need somebody to give them money, they need to raise money from venture capitalists in order to grow their business, in order to take their idea, this thought that they have about what they could build, and actually create it into something. And what I'm a huge believer in is self-funding. If you can self-generate the revenue inside your organization for it to grow, where you don't need external capital, why not do it that way first? Why not actually build your organization from an internal revenue source instead of being dependent upon somebody else? Now, in some situations, you might need external funding. In certain very few industries, that might be the path to go. However, most businesses today can generate revenue through their own efforts and be self-funding without having to access outside capital. So I want to walk you through, if I was to start a business today, how I would go about self-funding my organization so that I don't have to go raise money from anybody, because you don't want to have to ask people for stuff if you don't need the stuff that they're giving you. If you are just starting your business is just an idea. The way that you start to monetize is you promote your product or service. You had an idea that you then promote, and then you start seeing if somebody is interested in buying that. Now, early on, before you have a track record, before your product or service works, because you don't know yet, you're going to be offering it likely at a lower price point than you can in the future, because you do not have the track record yet. You do not have the stats yet. So as you're giving your program, you're giving your service to other people, to your ideal target customer, you are paying such close attention to their feedback just so that you can understand, is this working for people? What isn't working for people? How can I make the service better? How can I make the product better? You can gather so much data in the first 3 months. You do not have to wait a whole year, 2 years, 5 years of doing market research and development in order to get your idea to the marketplace. Give it to as many people as early as possible for free or for a very low cost, barely making any money off of the transaction. Give it at cost. That's the best way to do it. And then ask for their feedback so that you can improve the product and continue to give it to other people who are then able to say, this really worked well for me. I'm able to now use that as a testimonial and a statistic to market to new people and charge the price that you originally wanted to charge. But do not think that coming out of the gate without any experience, without knowing if your product or service is even good, that you're just going to be able to charge top dollar or premium prices for your product and service. Once you have a set of customers who love your product and service, who are willing to give you testimonials, this is the hack with marketing. Instead of thinking that you are marketing just for the sake of being on social media, you have to think through the lens of, how do I get attention? It's so easy to just think of creating content for content's sake. Oh, I need to post this today. Oh, I have to shoot some video and check it off the box. That is not what you're doing, especially early on in a business that can potentially go raise money in order to hire fancy marketing firms to help them. That's not what you're doing. You are not just checking off a box. You are thinking before you create any piece of content, how am I getting attention? Instead of just doing what I'm doing right now and talking to a camera, you're gonna find some cool and interesting way to immediately get attention at the get with whatever your marketing tactics are, so that you're actually using that marketing to get eyeballs instead of just having a marketing piece on some product or service and doing it in a vanilla way like everybody else does. The easiest way to get attention on social platforms, the easiest way to get attention through any piece of content that you create is thinking about it before you start. How am I getting attention from this? It's not just about explaining the benefits. It's not just saying, oh, Bob over here really likes it. How can you tap into those creative juices that you have as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, to say, how can I take this thing that I'm offering, this product and service right here, and make it sexy and make it fun and make it interesting and add some pizzazz to it so that I'm able to capture people's attention? Your ability to capture somebody's attention will allow you to not have to raise money because you know that you can actually generate leads yourself. To the extent you can learn this invaluable skill set, you will need less capital and potentially zero capital from anybody else because you generate your own leads. Once you have the attention of your customers and they convert with you, You must be relentless on taking care of them and focusing on their results, especially in the early stages of your business. Just because you have a few testimonials doesn't mean that you get to just stop paying attention to your customer altogether. Your customer matters. So what feedback are they giving you? To the extent that when you are small, you are focused on perfecting your product, you will get better at marketing your organization and getting more leads of people interested because you're focused on the right things. Do not just focus on how do I collect more money? How do I get more leads? Yes, those things are important. Yes, you need attention on those items. However, if you are focused on making your product great, your great customers will tell new customers about your product and service, and it will create this retention cycle, which is something that is important as you scale and grow your business. You want your existing clients who are doing business with you to do more business with you, and ideally send new people to you to do more business with you. And this is how you grow and expand. Once you go through this process with your first offering, you have learned an invaluable skill set of taking an idea, promoting that idea, converting customers to be actual customers who are paying for your idea, and then servicing them to get them to help you promote your next idea, which then becomes, this is your next product and service. How can you take your existing clients who are doing business with you, your existing customers who already like what they're doing with you, and solve an additional problem of theirs? Don't go off and solve a new set of customers' problem. This is where businesses break and then they start to raise capital because they need to solve this new set of problems. If you're already taking the existing customer that's doing business with you and you are obsessed with them, you are in love with them and focused on their problems, the next business challenge that you solve and the next product and service that you add has everything to do with what they're already doing with you and what additionally would complement what you're already doing with them. So think about this. In our business, we help business owners grow and scale, and we do this through events. We do this through management consulting services. We do this through partnerships. An additional thing that we could add to our business that would solve our client's problem would be offering tax advisory services. If we're serving business owners and we know that they struggle with finding somebody who can help give them great tax strategy, us solving that problem for them and offering them a product and service that they love because they already love working with us is a no-brainer. Now, a bad idea would be us moving from the small to mid-sized space to the enterprise space. Why? It is an entirely different customer. Everything from our marketing to our sales to the way that we actually operationalize and do business would have to change because we're serving a different person instead of looking at our existing clients and continuing to solve their problem by adding additional revenue and making that relationship more sticky. So again, I don't have to go out and raise money for these tax services because I know how to self-generate that revenue and just add it to the existing organization. And this is how every great business goes from startup, an idea, to being a mature organization that is able to continue to scale and grow without accessing outside capital.